sure was some poison oak back there. Tried to veer off to the right of it, and I think it still grazed me a little bit, so we'll see in about a week if that poison oak shows up or not. Anyways, welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out and riding the hard stuff. I'm George, the guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic. We're going up to the Piute Lookout Tower today. It's going to be a long one and a lot of elevation change. We're going to go from just under 3,000 feet to over 8,000 feet. I guess a little over a mile of elevation climb today, and you're going to feel it, or I'm going to feel it. I've been putting in a lot of time at the gym. I haven't ridden in about a month, but the time at the gym is paying off. Been doing a lot of push-ups, a lot of dips, and pull-ups. Just kind of the basic exercises, and then a lot of body squats plus weighted squats. And that has helped out. I definitely noticed my arms are much stronger today, especially when on the downhills. Last couple rides, the downhills, my triceps are just killing me. So I think my arms are good. My legs, I gotta work on my legs. Of course, there's no substitute for just time on the bike. That's where you get your best conditioning. I'm training for the Donner Hard Enduro coming up next month. And unfortunately, just how summer goes, it gets super damn hot out in California. So we've had 100 degrees several days, several weekends, and then summer goes. I had birthday parties. I flew to Rhode Island and had a good time with my buddy for his 40th birthday here a couple weeks ago. And so I just haven't been able to get time on the bike, but back at it. Feels good. This is a little sneaky trail that I found. Goes up to the Piutes, and we had Hillary, that Hurricane Hillary come through about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and you can see we had a lot of rain, and it just ate out this trail pretty good. It's pretty rutted out, and it looks like no one's been on it since then, or maybe even longer before that. This is like one of those trails that no one goes on. It's like the sneaky trail, but it connects up pretty non-stop, and the soil, it's got that kind of DG soil where it's not sand. It's very loose though, and it's real easy. It's hard packed, and then it's like hard packed sand. That's basically what DG is, decomposed granite. And so you can get real slippery. You can get good traction sometimes, and other times you can just wash out, tuck the front end over real quick. So going uphill, I got arm pumps setting in already. Like I said, I haven't been on the bike for about a month, and the arm pump is gonna take about a good 30 minutes of riding before it gets through. And all those push-ups I've been doing and the dips, I do believe have helped out quite a bit. But the climb here is that grip strength. That grip strength. And what arm pump is, it's just lactic acid that builds up in your muscles. A nice little rock section there. But it's just lactic acid builds up in your muscles, and when your body's not in conditioning to get rid of that, it just sits there for a long time, and then it makes your muscles not get the blood and oxygen they need to do their thing. It's just the same if you went out running. You go run, you probably feel good for half a mile, then you start hitting that wall and your legs just stop. I did a lot of swimming in my day, and the same thing swimming. You can go out super fast, and then you just hit a wall. It's that lactic acid building up, and when you hit that wall, there's not much your muscles can do. You just got to let them breathe, get some new blood in there, so you can keep on going. So everyone talks about arm pump all the time, and I know there's a technique. Yes, there's a lot of technique that can help alleviate that or minimize it, but conditioning is conditioning, and if you're not in the greatest condition, you're only able to ride like once a month, like right now what I'm doing. My goal is to ride twice a week, and right now it's once a month. It's just amazing how much time it just goes by so fast, and next thing you know, I'm like, I haven't ridden on the bike in a month. Oh, it's gonna kill me next time I'm on it, especially this ride today. A lot of side hill action, very soft. See that it's real gravelly here, and just don't want to get on the gas. Just keep it a nice even throttle so that back tire isn't sliding out on you. Staying on the line, keeping the balance. Now I know I'm out of shape, so most of y'all are coming in out of shape in your rides too, so you gotta be smart about it. I know it's gonna be a long ride. I haven't done this trail before, so I'm guessing I'm trying to conserve my energy in the beginning here, so I don't just get absolutely destroyed at the end of the ride. And this hill climb it's not the hardest. I'd say this trail's about a 7. There's no major obstacles that are just impossible to pass. You know, one of my favorite trails is the Rincon Trail. I feel like it has just that extra level of obstacles that make it fun, a challenge to get through. It's just not, yeah, those soft side hill action. So you get that back tire off the line. It's going to drag it back over.
So soft it is.
A lot of people just keep fighting that, just keep kind of revving out, and that back end will just drop lower and lower and lower, and pretty soon you're in a world of hurt, having to push your bike up, wasting a lot of energy. So catching it early, you know, who knows, I maybe could have ridden out, but I just caught it early, picked the bike, put it back on the line, and off we go. Barely used any energy. Need to save as much energy as I can. This was a long ride. It was, got to be torture towards the way back. On the way back, I ran out of water about 10 miles out from the truck, and that last 2 miles, this big, I'm going uphill here, this going downhill, and I was hurting pretty bad. And I got done with the ride. I just walked over that creek. I just laid face down in the creek. I was overheating. When I left this morning, temperature is 63 degrees, nice and cool. But it heated up all the way to 103. So when I left, packed up the truck, it was 103 degrees, and it just really got overheated.
Big hill climb there.
Yeah, so right here, this is where the main hill climbing action happens. So we got pretty steady climb here for almost 2 miles. We got to get up over 8,000 feet today, so we got a lot of climbing to do. Nice climb right here. Not too steep, but a little rocky, a little bumpy. Just staying on the throttle there, keeping it constant. My tires today, I'm telling you, I'm running a JX8 Dakota, and it's probably sitting around, I'd say 12 to 15 hours on the tire with the Nitro Moose, the plushie, and it was just awesome. It had so much traction. It's really soft. You can see the Moose is just really broken in. You can push into that tire, and it just grabs so much traction. Look at that arm pump. Yeah, stretch it out. That's where timing the bike. You just gotta get yourself on the bike. I'm doing a lot of sitting here. Just this climb, it's so tight, technical, and I just haven't been riding. You know, and plus I'm trying to save energy. Now, if you're standing up on the bars, you can lean a lot forward, and you can take a lot of that pressure off of your forearms there, so you don't build up the lactic acid quite as fast. But it is what it is, and I'm having to sit down to stay on the trail here. But that rear tire, JX8, it's an awesome tire. I recommend it, especially for this style of trail riding. It was just perfect. And if I was going out to Jawbone has those just ultra massive, steep, super sandy, almost like sand dune hill climbs. And that's where the JX8, like it did in the Silver King's Hard Enduro, or some of the big hill climbs, I feel like it just didn't grab enough for the hill climbs. It needs the bigger knobs. But the rut there, the rocks, it just rolled right over, especially with that soft moose in there. I hardly ever had any rear tire slippage today. It was just almost constant traction the whole time. My front tire, I got the Shinko 546. I'm gonna switch it up, and I'm gonna use it until it's done. But the next tire I'm gonna go for, I think, is gonna be the VX40. It's got a little bit softer knobs on it, and I think for the Donner Hard Enduro with a lot of the rock sections that gave me trouble last time, it's going to be a better front tire. It's going to be able to just grab a little bit more. I won't be sliding on the rocks as much as I did. So just a nice steady hill climb here. See that rut? That rut was just, it wasn't the best, I'd say. Riding with the rut in the trail all day, that wears you out. You can't balance, and that was the other thing. I wasn't standing up, because if you fall into this rut, you can't hold your balance as good. You got a foot dab now and again, and so with my legs being the way they are, I just wasn't able to get up on the pegs as much as I should today. But there's almost a steady rut this entire trail ride, so you had to go in it on the way up, you had to go in it on the way down. When I could avoid it, like right now, I'd avoid it. But there's most of the section here, most of the ride, you couldn't avoid it. All right, there's a low tree, a fallen tree. Do my low duck, see if the bag gets caught. Yep, caught the bag. I'm telling you, my bag catches every time. They need to design something where it just tucks. Maybe I don't put too much gear. I mean, I put my 3 liters of water, and then I have an extra liter of bottle as well. I got a burrito in the bag, and a rag, some other things in there. I'll go through a gear check later, but I guess it sticks out a little too far. But what it is, it's got this top loop that just sticks out, and I need to cut it off. I've said it in like 4 videos already. I need to cut that loop off the bag so I won't get caught when I'm duck diving under the trees. Nice little rock sections. Feeling real confident. I'm telling that rear tire, that builds your confidence. When you just feel the bike get traction, whereas if I was running even that cheater, the 525 cheater, it's one of my favorites. It's not a gummy, but it's not rock hard like a motocross tire. But it's got bigger knobs, and then the Evo M5B, which is a sand, mud, hill climbing tire. You get into that situation, it would just dig a hole right there. Like, it would just start eating out the sand. Whereas that soft, gummy compound, it kind of just rolls over. It doesn't dig down into it, just rolls over, grabs as much traction as it can, and then keeps on going. So it's just feeling really good. Still climbing, you zigzagging through the brush here. It starts getting more overgrown, and you'll see it coming up. It gets very overgrown, where you're kind of just bushwhacking, bulldogging through the brush. I didn't see any, like I said, I didn't see any fresh tracks up here. I mean, the track's pretty well worn in, I'd say. No more than, like, Rincon gets really overgrown. And what's the name of that trail, dude? Oh, the Snowy Trail. The Snowy Trail got really overgrown. But I still made my way through that. Now, there's someone hiking up here. So there was footprints, but there was no tire tracks. So someone was just up here hiking. And there's a little rock overhang coming up here that looks like people come and chill at or hike to. And it has a nasty little rock section with this big rock overhang. I think it was about a mile up maybe. Yeah, buddy, look at that, just tractoring right up. Oh no, stall it. Right when I say that, stall the bike. Classic. Yeah, it's steep. Trixie's getting her done. Good job, girl. Put a new lens on my goggles. I wear the Fox View, and I've been wearing this blued mirrored, and I just switched it to like a blue matte finish, and I'm liking it. It's making the shadows easier to see. Definitely goggle down territory today. I'm telling you, it's coming up. There's many sections where you just are head down, scraping your arms. You know, it branches trying to rip off your jersey. Like, my jersey's almost trashed after this ride. It was just my sleeves, my shoulders, and then my pants got this huge rip. They go from the top of the thigh all the way around to the back of the thigh, and all these little manzanita berries and little twigs and brush are just falling into that rip, and then just jab me and poke me and stab me right in my inner thigh. It just was so annoying the whole ride. I got a new pair ordered. I like using Canvas MX. They got you can custom make your own jerseys. You know, I've been buying the O'Neal jerseys forever, and I've bought Fox, and I just like making my own, and it's kind of fun. You design your own color schemes, put on your own logos, your own print. I like doing that kind of stuff. Some people don't, but I like it, and MX is a good company, lets it do that. There is some changes to the jerseys I wish they'd do. The pants, anyways. The pants, they put a leather inseam or a leather patch on the knees, which is good on the inside of the knees where you're rubbing the bike. I do like that, but they need one around your inner thigh, and then right up maybe the back side of your crotch there. I burned my right inner thigh on my exhaust pipe when I was doing a pivot turn. Did that back on the snowy trail. Oh, get on the line. That rock threw me off a little bit. Almost got a face full of manzanita right there. Now that manzanita's got these little red berries on it, and they're all falling off, and they're real sticky. So where that big rip in my pants jersey, I just got tons of manzanita berries just sticking to me, and they're poking me. Is so annoying. But I got a new pair of pants coming in the mail. I think they're delivered next week. And back to what I was saying, that I want to make it a patch. Maybe I'm gonna sew it on myself, and when I get my store, I'll have hardcore enduro butt patches or something like that, where it's a leather patch you can put on the inside of your thigh there, so you don't burn your exhaust. I was doing a pivot turn when I had those big switchbacks down to that creek, and my exhaust sticks out so far. You know, certain bikes, the exhaust just sticks out a lot, and just burn. I got a bad burn inside of my thigh, so I wish I had like a little leather patch that I could sew on or just Velcro on or something on my pant jersey. That way I don't get burned there when I'm making a pivot turn. Alright, pivot turn! I was just talking about it. Now you can't even do it. Now you suck. This is pretty steep right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to lean my body back. I'm going to throw my body weight forward. As soon as I throw my body weight forward, drop the clutch. I've been watching a lot of the Rich Larson's videos about how to get your body weight forward. And it's starting to feel better when I do it. You get your body weight back, you got the engine going, and you throw your weight forward. Right when you throw your weight forward, you're releasing that clutch. Not like a hard pop, I guess depending on the situation, you release it faster or slower, and that bike, your weight's forward, you let the bike, bam, just pop up real quick. I did that several times today, and it was feeling pretty good. There's a little overhang. See that big rock up there at the top of the screen? That big overhang rock. It's got this little chute you gotta go through, and it's got a rock in the middle, and I tried it first to the right, and it get through this manzanita. Tell you, it is overgrown. I love these type of trails though. It makes you work. You know, fast flowy trails, they're a lot of fun too. But this trail, like, it's making you earn it. Every step of the way is like, oh yeah, it's making you work, baby. So we get up here to this big overhang rock, and I went right the first time. You'll see what I'm talking about. And my bike got hung up. I couldn't keep going. It was caught on the foot peg. And so then I backed down and I went left this time, which I got caught in the other foot peg. There was an easy way to get through this little section here. Now, I think left was a little bit wider. Gonna move the back end over a little bit, straighten out the bike. This bush is right in the way, so it's making it a little tough. It's a narrow little chute to get through here. If I was good, I'd probably just center that rock and just go straight through the top of it instead of trying to go through the little chutes to the left or right. I just hit it right over the middle. I get up to this point, just get there's no place to put your legs. So I got to put my right foot up there, give a little push, get through. Made it. Count it. Just climbing up here, I was going to check out the view, take a little photo. Got the steel tip still on my boots. It's the Garnet SG12s, and I need to take that steel tip off the boot. As I was climbing up, I can feel that metal tip banging the rock and just sliding a little bit. It wasn't giving me the confidence as I was climbing up here. It's a big drop off each side. Good view. Got my pictures. Took a little break right there. Caught my breath, and now we're back at it. Now for the next 3 miles, kind of this ridge top running. Got one more big hill to climb up. I mean, it's not a big hill. It's not like jawbone big hills that you're imagining these massive climbs. They're just steady climbing, zigzagging through the brush. And because they're zigzagging and there's so much overgrowth, you're not able to just generate a lot of speed to make it go quick. So it's take a lot of energy to go up the hills. And with the overgrowth, you got to be careful about hitting rocks, hitting logs, and then actual brush just grabbing your arms. And it'll be coming up. I'll point it out when it happens. But go through this bush and it just totally rips my arm off the handlebars. And I've had that when we did the Bradshaw Trail in Arizona. There was a fallen branch or something like that was hidden by the bush. You went by and it just totally jousted me right in my shoulder, almost threw me off the bike and then set me down the hill a little bit. So I'm always thinking about that when I go through these really overgrown trails. You know, you can't just haul balls and then think you're going to be able to just smooth sail through these trail here. You're going to hit a rock or hit a stick or root. It's going to throw you off the bike. Not only that, there's several times I cut out all the times I got off course because the trail would zig or zag and I'd be following what I thought was a line, but it was just a little water rut that threw me off, and then I had backtracks, come back, get on the main line again. You just see how it's getting more overgrown. These ruts are pretty darn big. So I'm trying to stay out of them. You get stuck in there, and then you can't balance good, and so then you're having to paddle up, dog paddle up, sticking your leg out, and then it's killing that your hip flexors, you know, because you're having to take your foot off the peg all the time, and it's wearing my hip flexor out. Which I've been doing a lot of leg lifts. That's another exercise I've been doing a lot of. Laying on my back, doing flutter kicks and leg lifts to try to strengthen that little hip flexor up, because I know in Donner there's going to be a lot of dog paddling going on. Alright, a little hard section here. It's a little steep. And it's where I'm going to be leaning back on the bike, throwing my weight forward just to get over these little obstacles.
Oh, looking bad now, Georgie.
Ew. Well, they don't know that if you don't say that. There you go. See, I lean back, threw my weight forward, pop the bike over the obstacle, that little rock there. If I carried momentum, I wouldn't have to do that. Momentum is your biggest friend. But, you know, if you get caught in a bad situation like that, you got to learn the little techniques. And I keep practicing. And it's getting easier. It's working. I feel like I'm making progress. It's a nice steady hill climb all through here, just relentless, trying to keep that bike going forward. Momentum, that's your biggest friend. You can keep that momentum up. Those are it's so overgrown though. It's hard to see where I'm going. Got a nice little rock lip to get over right here. Gonna pop the front tire up, punch it, and then sort of a double blip. Get over that pretty good. And pat myself on the back for that one. So I'm out riding solo today, as I do most of my rides. I ride solo, and you gotta just be prepared. When you're riding solo, a lot of my buddies just wrote me like, "Well, you're crazy. You shouldn't be out there going solo." Well, yeah, but I don't have anyone to ride with, so I gotta ride solo. That being said, when you gotta be smart about riding here, and so I don't do some of the like I slow down the pace. I'm riding my own pace, and then also just some gear that I have. I think is important to have. One of the most important things I always ride with now is my little Garmin InReach Mini. It runs off a satellite, and you can text anyone. And you know, there's an SOS deal that search and rescue will come get you no matter where you're at. And then you can also text, so I can text my wife or my friends or whatever I need to do. I can text them as I'm riding, even though my phone's out of service. So a lot of these places I ride, there's just no phone service at all, especially in the canyons. Out in the back country, there's just no phone service out here. And then you got to be smart. It's not just having it on you. You got to be smart. Look at that drop off. Woo. Yeah, see, if the bike rolled down there, I'd be in a world of hurt. So that's why you got to ride smart. You know, be more cautious. Now back to the Garmin InReach. I see a lot of people put it on their handlebars of their bike, or they leave it in their backpack, and that's a mistake. You want to put it on your body, kind of towards the front. I put mine on my belt. I wear a deadlift belt, and I kind of put it towards the front. So if I fall or something happens, I can reach it with my right arm or my left arm. So I don't not out of reach of the Garmin. All right here. Look at this. Go through. Branch right there. It just ripped my arm. Caught my jersey. Ripped my arm off the handlebars. That's why I don't go just blasting through the bush. You know, you gotta be expecting something to grab you. It's with this overgrown stuff, and this manzanita and this other brush, it's strong. It's got and it's got this sharp little, not needles, but there's sharp little twigs on them. But if you got your Garmin InReach on your bike, you go off the cliff, your bike's down the cliff, or you go down the cliff, your bike's back on the trail, and you're getting hurt. You can't get to your bike. Well, having a Garmin InReach is useless. You might as well not have it, you know. And then having your backpack, like I said, if you get hurt and you can't even take your backpack off, you got hurt back or broken arms or something like that, you know, it's gonna be much harder for you to use your Garmin inReach. So I like having it right in front. That way, if I fall, tumble, I can get it. It's right there within reach. Pro tip of the day about my inReach. I'll have to. If you guys have ridden with one and know about it, or if you guys are looking at getting some kind of communication device so that you can call for help when you're out of service, you know, I'd say do it. It is a monthly bill to be able to do that, but it's a little safety that I think is necessary, especially if you're going to do some solo riding and you like the hard extreme style of riding. You know, I'm not looking for the easy green trails. I like the hard black, double black, just triple black diamond. Yeah, there's that big rip.
All these little sticks and everything's jamming in, poking my inner side there.
Yeah, it's feeling good.
We got a new pair ordered, but they're not in yet.
They need to come in. Those things are driving me nuts. That rip there.
Starting to go away.
Ah, very nice. The arm pump is going away. It's only taken an hour and a half into the ride, and the arm pump. Hey, quiet! I'm trying to narrate here. I'm trying to ride. When I talk when I ride now, I'm just trying to like put out markers or like. I already talked about that. See, you don't need to narrate. Yes, before any branches. Yeah.
My left arm.
Yeah, we got it. I already talked about it.
Can't underestimate it.
Some people love narrating while they ride, and I just like doing the voiceover after. I think I do a much better job, and I just kind of can't stop talking. I remember when I first started these videos, I just say a couple things, and now, even this video is an hour and 15 minutes, I find it's not hard at all just to keep talking the whole damn time. I have to force myself to just stop talking. I love ride. I love talking about how I ride. When I'm an old guy someday, or my son's grown up, he's gonna be able to watch this, and he's gonna know what I was thinking, how I was riding. It's gonna be awesome. Starting to get a lot more overgrown. Got another little hill to get up. Some rolling rocks underneath me. That says rut's still there. That rut really playing havoc with the balance of the bike. This keeps trying to throw me back in the middle, and then it's got the little lip to the rut, so once my front tire gets in there, it gets kind of locked in. It gets hard to steer. Nice little rocky ridge tops here. So straight ahead of us, you can see the tree line, or the pine tree lines starting. So gotta stay. What are you doing here? Get back on. Stay on the trail. These bushes here, they got these little white, like corkscrew little seed pods or something. I don't know what they are, but they're just getting everywhere. They were getting down my neck, back of my neck. They're like going up in between my goggles and the helmet, and then that big rip in my jersey too. It was just getting everywhere. God, it was. I'm telling you, it's a different style of riding like this. We're doing a lot of just look at that. Like, where did I go? Can't even see the trail. If you guys watched the snowy trail, there was a couple of spots where it was just like you just put your head down and and just went for it, just bulldozed your way through. Which reminds me, now I've been talking about it. I'm not ready for it yet, but the next ridgeline over is that abandoned trail that I did last year, which I almost died of heat exhaustion or heat stroke or something. I was so dehydrated, and it was so hard. It was overgrown. Like, this is overgrown right here. If you count this overgrown, say this is, I'd say this is like an 8 on overgrowth. Well, that trail I did last year was like a 13. I mean, it was beyond a 10. It was torture to get through. Same thing, you're going uphill and downhill like this, trying to go basically no trail, even though there is a trail there. It's just so overgrown. You had manzanita bushes, everything just going right through the center of the trail. Whereas this trail still exists, you know. And the other one did too. It's just whatever reason, no one had been on it in years. But I'm gonna do it. Just not yet. I gotta get my conditioning up, because if I did that today, I would have been stopped already. There's no way I could have done it. Yeah, so this part's trail is just kind of rough. Not the most fun. Just blasting. You know, you keep waiting for the brush to thin out. As soon as we get up to the tree line, it's gonna thin out, and then it's gonna be a whole different ride. You know, it's got a whole different feel to it. It's gonna be open, gonna be a lot more flowy, and a little cooler too. We're up in elevation, and temperature drops, so it's gonna feel real good once we get up to this tree line. You got a couple pine trees, so we're almost to that level. Just probably another 100 feet in elevation, and then we're gonna hit that tree line up there. Another sharp corner there. Just be smart. Take your time. What I'm trying to do, just avoid any big mistakes. I only had one fall today, which was not anything bad. I was actually got off the course a little bit and was trying to get over a log, which never underestimate a log. There was 2 logs, and the top log gave way and it rolled on me and made me fall over. Nothing bad though. Yeah, nice little rut incline right there. It's making havoc on my front tire steering. I said already that, yeah, it's got that little drop. It's just not like a normal rut that's been ridden. It's got that little cut, and your tire just wide enough so that when my front tire is in there, it'd get like stuck, or as it's going back and forth. Just that little zigzag of that rut was making my steering go back and forth, and I kept thinking that something was wrong with my tires or the bike, you know, that the tire was off the bead or something like that. But it was just that rut from the little cut from the water running down. Alright, this is a good spot. Took a little breather right there. Now I'm back at it. That little rut though, like if it wasn't there, I mean it's there, so there's nothing I can do about it. But if it wasn't there, I'd be able to ride a lot faster. I felt like I was riding so slow today. But, you know, being cautious, being safe, and smart about the riding. You know, I still have a great, I love this style of riding where it's a challenge. You know, I'm not looking for any big jumps. I'm not looking for going super fast. I like this challenging kind of slow-paced stuff with epic views. And like no one's been in here in a long time. It was awesome. And right up here is one of them where I thought I went straight, didn't go straight, had made a sharp left. Did that several times today, whereas I had to go and you know, it's so overgrown that you kind of lose the trail after a while. I was thinking about giving that little log, that fallen tree there, a go and jumping over it. There was room, could have done it. It was at a slight angle, would have been good practice. But I know we still got a long ways to go, and I'm like, do I have the time, the energy? But I gotta force myself. I know, beginning of the year, I said I'm not gonna leave any obstacles behind. Now I'm gonna hit everything. And you know, when people trail ride, they cut out almost all the trees. And but I want to race hard enduro, and hard enduro, they're gonna have trees. They're gonna have a tree that big at that angle is gonna be at Donner. They're gonna be bigger. They're gonna be at a worse angle. There's gonna be mud in front of it or something like that. So I gotta force myself and don't back down from getting over those logs, because they can be a pain in the butt. You can use so much energy of having to throw your bike, push it, just like deadlift it over the log, get it over the tree. It's just such a big waste of energy. You can just clean it, get over it real quick. It just saves so much time and energy. Alright, getting up to the trees now. So now it's gonna clear out. A lot of this brush is gonna disappear, and I'm gonna get it's almost a different type of ride now. It's gonna be a lot more fast-paced, a lot more flowy. Still got that, you know, it's just not a well-traveled trail, so it's just got that rut in there. It's gonna have some rocks coming up, which is gonna be a lot of fun. But it's nice having a little change of pace, getting some airflow. This looks like an old mining road. There's a couple spots where you're like, this is an old mining road. There's a road that went across there. Now this trail does have a name to it. So this is Liebel Peak Trail, which Liebel Peak, well, passed by, it's about a little over 8,000 feet. So we've gone from just under 3,000 to now we're almost at 8,000 feet right now. It's been a big climb in elevation. Look at that big rut. Ugh. Tried to avoid it, but sooner or later you're gonna get thrown right into it. That causes your feet to go down, doing the foot dabbing just to keep your balance, because you can't, being in that rut, it's such a big rut, you can't keep your balance standing on the pigs. At least I can't. I'm gonna say everyone. No, Kyle's watching this. He'd be like, stand up on the pigs right now. That's what he'd be saying. You can see it when I'm in that rut. It's almost steering the bike. You can see. I notice it when I look at the handlebars. I can see that rut trying to steer the bike for me. So I was fighting it the whole time. Stay on the trail. There's a little split back there, and some people went to the right and I went left, so on the way back I took the other route. You can see the trail connected back up, and there was nothing in there. I thought there was a fallen tree maybe, but it wasn't, just a split in the trail for whatever reason. Now coming up here, it'll be a big log cut, and I get right around and I stall the bike. I forget why I stalled it, but I stalled it. It almost threw me right into the end of the tree here. This little bit right here. You'll hear me stall it real quick, and then I caught it. It almost sent me face first right into that tree.
Right in that log.
Yeah. That could have been a bad fall, just falling straight into a log. Alright, just a nice. Now this is a good, I consider this a flowy trail. Pretty much different now than the first half of the ride. The second half, kind of nice. You know, it gives you two different styles of riding. Whereas if you start in the mountains, you're just getting this same flowy trail the whole time. I'm not saying it gets old or I don't enjoy it, but I just like how I start off that lower altitude. It's like working me trying to get up it. Whereas now when I get up here, this feels great. I think I appreciate it more. There's another log. See, I'm gonna point all these logs. See, they didn't have to cut that. Don't cut that log. There's some blasted. Someone had to blast the path through this one. Nothing to see if I could. Yeah, I caught the bag. See, every time. I'm trying to duck as low as possible. But I still get caught. Almost every time. Now up here there was a deer season's open, I guess, for the bow guys. There was quite a few hunters up here. So I don't know if I'm helping them out scaring the deer towards them. I did see a couple of deer on my ride today. I was riding on the Clear Creek Trail, which is to the right of me. It's like one ridge over to the right. It was that Clear Creek Trail that I did. Was it last spring? And I'm like bombing through the forest. And there was a guy, I didn't even see it until I went through editing, cutting the video. There was a guy, I mean, I could have touched him. And I rode right past him, and he was just in the shadows of a tree. And it was on a hill climb, so I just focused on climbing. And I whizzed right past the guy. So now when I ride, I was thinking about, even this ride, I was thinking about, because there's hunters up here, and I'm like, oh man, I hope I don't, like, I'm gonna run right past one or run right into one that's walking down the trail, because they'll use these trails to hunt on. I was in Pozo riding, and the guys shot a deer right on the trail, and they were dressing it out right on the trail. I mean, they had to have shot that thing like 5 minutes before I went through. The other thing I was thinking about too is hitting an animal. I know I saw that bear that got in front of me on the snowy trail, and then you guys watched the World Hard Enduro on Erzberg. Mario Roman had a deer run out in front of him. He totally smashed into it. He got a concussion, was out of the race. He doesn't even remember hitting the deer. Nice little rocks through here, get up and over. Saw my boots come up. I need to get out of that habit. It's a little bit of a habit I've had from when I wasn't clearing obstacles, but now I'm clearing obstacles. I just need to keep my feet on the pegs instead of sticking them out. Gotta break that habit. Now coming up here is that little log. I mean, they're like branches. They're not, I haven't called them a log. It's just little branches, but there's one stacked on top of the other. And it's gonna move on me when I get through it. So the top one moves, and I lose my balance, fall over. I'm just thinking about this for next time. You know, I gotta plan for this, or expect it. Expect it to move on me and be ready for something. How do I prevent this from next time? So I get off the course here. I'm like, alright, I gotta get back, so I'm gonna split this. 2 logs, right there, 2 logs. Top one moves.
My bitch.
Not a bad fall, but it does make you work harder than you need to be working. Every time you fall down, every time you gotta deadlift your bike. On Silver Kings, you know, it's picking your bike up over and over and over and over. You know, it just wears you the hell out. And the bigger bike, especially my Trixie, the tank, she's a heavy girl. Picking her up over and over and over just wears you out. And that's why I wear my deadlift belt, just for that. A lot of woods right in here. Here's the West Coast woods. We don't have those tight East Coast woods I see in the videos where they're just all over the place. You know what? And I rode that Fool's Gold Sprint Enduro. That reminded me of it. Just really tight. Here's a big fallen log. Right there, straight. I'm gonna have to do that because there's gonna be something like that in Donner. See that straight ahead of me right there? Just to the right a little bit, 1 o'clock. But there's a line, so I go around it. And that's not hard. I made it around. But I tell you, I gotta force myself to figure out how to get over those logs with the least amount of energy as I can, because it's gonna be there. You want to race hard enduro, those scenarios are gonna be there. You gotta expect it's not gonna be easy for you. Pretty rough section through here. Feel all right. Right here, I should have given the gas. Should have been up on my pegs, give the gas in that little lip. No bigger than the one I did earlier in the trail, but instead I decided I'm gonna snake it around. Come here, left pivot, come back, right pivot. Now, if I would have just popped up the front end and zapped over it, would have saved so much energy. But left pivot, right pivot, and then I had to do the whole rock back, throw my body weight forward to get over. It just, not does it take longer, it just takes that much more energy to get over. Gotta stop doing that. We gotta ride smarter. Ride harder, ride smarter. Get off. Lost my balance a little bit, got off the line. So it's real soft through here. And I'm trying to not dig a hole. But I'm telling that GX8, really impressed today. It was the money spot. Now it's held up pretty good. Gummies usually don't last too long. I've had the IX9 and that lasted for one race. It was too soft. I didn't have a mousse on it, so it got flat immediately. So the GX8, I think it is almost the ideal tire for trail riding like this. And I haven't tried it in a creek or something wet and slippery yet, but even the greatest tires, you get wet and slippery. You know, it comes down to the skill level of the rider so much more than the tires. You baby, check Trixie out doing this stuff, and she was on fire right now. I think I was on my second win because I felt good. I was, you know, first half, it totally wore me out, that climb, but now I got my second win, and Trixie, she's looking good right now. Get it, girl. I was feeling good. Confidence is high. I was like, I throw some bigger obstacles. I wanted some big ass log, falling tree, a big rock. Just throw something at me. I was ready for it. I was doing good. Alright, little breather, catching my breath. Here we go. What do we got here? Couple logs. Hey, they're all cut up though. I gotta leave them in there. Want to make my own trail. Somehow I'm gonna get my own trail made, and I'm not gonna cut up a dang log. I got that one trail ride I got at the river by my house. It's so overgrown though. We had the big flood come through, and totally washed out that area. I wasn't able to keep riding through there, but the weeds took it over, and if I had to go back now, it would be 8 foot high of weeds trying to blaze the trail through there. It'd be really tough. Alright, starting to get really tired at this point. Not like the tiredness I had at the end of the ride today, but definitely was getting tired. I was wanting that lunch break. Got that breakfast burrito in my pack, and I was thinking about it. Got a little rock section through here, and the trail went left, and I went a little high. Had to split these boulders here. A little awkward, but snaked it through, no problem.
That was the way.
Yeah, the route was just to the left a little bit. Got a fallen tree in front of us, down and around. Here's a good little section here. This is pretty gnarly through here, and coming back up it was a lot of fun. Going down, not so bad, but coming back up, it was a lot of fun through here. There's a big fallen tree across the path right there, and it's elevated. I mean, that's to the top of that tree is probably, I don't know, about 3 feet, and it's just you're downward, the downward angle, just awkward. So instead of running all the way down, I plan to do a little highline snake around it. I think that was a wise choice at this point in time. I was just tired. I didn't feel like muscling through that. I could have went down and probably got around right at the base of it, but this wasn't bad either. Got this little bush here, and there's a little rock that I'm on is a drop off, and the bush is kind of hiding it, but I probably could have just rode fast and just sent it off, no problem, but made it through. Not a big deal. Yeah, coming back up this is gonna be a lot of fun. That JX8, it made its money today. It was worth it. It did such a good job through that section right there. So there was a big forest fire through here several years ago, and you can see all the burnout trees there, which is, it's not a lot of trees. There's a lot of these little baby new trees coming up. And, forest fires are bad, but they're necessary. You see all the new growth coming along, and that's just what happens naturally. You need to clear out the old growth to get some new growth coming in. But it just makes really spectacular views. There's just not a lot of...
Pretty view there.
Yeah, look at that view. Makes these trail rides worth it. You get up here and it's just awesome. If you're not here in person, the video just never does it justice. Being there in person, it's awesome. I love it. Makes it worth it every time. Alright, through that we got a little downhill rock section coming up that I've done. So I've run this section before when I did the Clear Creek Trail, which if you did Clear Creek, if I do this in a loop, I do Clear Creek up and then come this down where I did this up today. But this nice little section here, the grip on the terrain was really good today. Like this, I'm telling you, the JX8 really game changer. It is a phenomenal tire for this type of riding. Last time I came through here, I probably had the M5B, and I was just spinning the tire a lot. Now it wasn't, I wouldn't say, I think it was a little bit more powdery, but it just wasn't grabbing. Now I'm going down here. the way back so I just did an out and back trip today, so I had to go back all the same way I came. I'm telling you, it went up this like nothing. I was gonna throw it in the video, but the video's already long enough. I figured if you saw me going down it and I told you I was going up it, then that's good enough. I didn't. If I had any major spills or falls or crashes, I would have thrown that in there. But really, just that log section where I crossed, that was the only time I fell over. And really, because there's no extreme terrain, I gave this a 7 rating on the hard scale, but without any extreme obstacles, just a couple rock hops and logs, not that big a deal. Just how long it was. The elevation climb really is how hard it was, and then me being out of shape definitely put me in the struggle bus, but just a ton of fun. So we get through this next section here. There's gonna be some campers that will go through, and there's some fresh tracks finally. Like right here, there's all me. Now, where I'm riding right now, there's fresh tracks. So someone has ridden this today, which was getting a little fire in the butt. I was like, oh, I'd like to catch these guys and talk to them a little bit. So I was getting after it a little bit, seeing if I could catch them. Just tell it's different kind of riding up here, a lot more flowy, open. You don't have the brush hidden, although we're gonna get some of that brush when we cross over to the back side of these hills here. It's funny that on the north side, no brush, and then you get over to the back side and the brush would start up again. There's little cut logs right there. So I wish they'd just leave them. You know, that wasn't a big log at all. The big boys, the big logs, yeah, I could see them cutting out. That's fine. I wouldn't have a problem. There's like massive 4-foot diameter, 5-foot diameter tree falling across. But these little 2-foot guys, you know, just bust off some of the branches and leave the log as it is. If people want to get around it, you know, it's easy enough to just go around the tree. But then for all the hard enduro guys, we can get our little log crossing in. You know, that would be a lot of fun.
Rocky.
Yeah, just saying a little rocky through here. That brush. There's a lot of dead wood through here. You see where that forest fire went through, and it's just hiding those logs, and you just gotta be a little careful. It can be, those logs can be, because they cut them, and that bush will grow up and cover just the edge of that log, and then you'll come through, you catch your foot peg or catch your foot, something like that, and it's stopping your tracks. Alright, coming here, watch your head right here. Look at this branch. Whew! That would take your eyeball out right there. It's like that one on the snowy trail. It was all that overgrowth and went through, and there's a branch like right at your eye level. And if you didn't have your goggles down, you'd get poked right in the face. I warned you on that snowy trail. You gotta watch out for that one. Alright, so we're now, like I said, we're up around 8,000 feet. And, you know, I ride the WR. I love the 4-stroke fuel injection. As far as altitude, you don't really worry about the bike. The engine is always running great. Whereas a carburetor bike, you know, we went a mile climbing altitude. And if you didn't have it jetted right, you're going to notice a difference in power, just response from the engine. And this is where I like having that fuel injection. It's just a little bit more reliable as far as performance-wise. I know how the bike's gonna run no matter where I am, especially here in California, where we just have a lot of altitude changes. You know, you go, like where I live, we're only 200 feet above sea level. And if I jet my bike for that altitude, and when I go trail riding in the Sierras, we're getting up to 8,000, 9,000 feet sometimes. You know, I'd have to be rejetting the bike almost every time I rode, because it wouldn't perform like it did at sea level. So I kind of like that fuel injection. I know the TPI bikes, Buddy Kyle's got that 2022. It's got the XC300 from KTM. It's got the TPI, and I think that works very well. I'd like to see the stats, though. I mean, I know that all the pros run TPIs, but you don't know what I don't know what their crew chiefs are all tuning, how to tune the bike, even the betas and all those carbureted bikes, you know, how they're able to adjust and rejet it for different altitude changes when you got drastic altitude changes. Like I said, my house is, I think we're now at 185 or 183 feet above sea level, and then every time I go ride, you know, we're up to easily 6, 7, 8,000. If you go up to Courtright, you're up at 9,000 feet. So that, you know, that'd be a lot of adjusting, and I just don't feel like doing that. So I like my fuel injection. It gets it done for me. Coming up here, there's gonna be one log, like the one they did not cut the log. I was like, fan-freaking-tastic. Why couldn't they not cut any other logs? Coming up, I saw it, and I hit it good, and I felt proud. When that happens, I'll show you. I'm gonna pat myself on the back, both backs, both shoulders. It's like a double tap on the back there. It was so nice to get this log in. You got Donner. I mean, each hard enduro has its own feel to it. Donner is going to have some log sections in there, and I really like that they keep them in there. So it's coming up right here. Here's that log. It's pretty decent, like a mid-level log, pretty good. Pop that tire, boom. Look at that, folks, right over it. That's going to hit you in Donner, and you're going to stop. All the amateur guys are going to stop and just have to toss their bike over. Now, they'll have several logs like that. So they'll be like log after log after log, and you won't get a nice run-up. Like I had a pretty nice run-up right there, so it made it a little easier. But I can't wait. It destroyed me last year. When I hit the logs last year in Donner, it just took me out. And I can't wait to try it this year and see how I've improved. Hopefully they have it. I know they can reroute the course and maybe have a completely different course, but I hope they are going to throw in that big fallen tree section that they did last year. That was a lot of fun. It is a long ride today, a little bit longer than what I was planning when I left the house this morning. Originally, I was going to ride the Mill Creek Trail. I had someone comment on, I think it was the Remington Trail video that I did, and he was asking me if he can get up to Breckenridge. There's a peak up there. There's an alternate route getting there called Mill Creek. And I was like, you know, I want to check that out since I got a comment. I haven't done it, so I want to check it out. So for me, it's only a 2-hour drive to get there, and it had a sign. It is a dirt bike trail, but they just added no motorized vehicles on the trail. So I know it's a trend going around. It's not. We aren't the only state that is doing this of cutting off dirt bikes or motorized vehicles on trails. Again, just leaving it to all the hikers, all the hippie hikers. That's what it is, all a bunch of hippies hiking up trails. And so I was bummed. Went there, route was closed, and I thought about just doing it anyways. Ooh, look at that. Could have just did another one. It's getting late in the ride. I just didn't feel like, I kind of felt, I'm watching the video now, I'm kind of letting myself down. I should have hit it. I think I could have cleared that. You know, a little off-camber log would have been a good practice. Anyways, the Mill Creek Trail was closed, so then I had to then go on my little OnX off-road app and check out another ride. And this was one I had laid out before. I knew it was going to be a tough one, and I was like, you know what? I didn't want to hit this level of riding today, but I think I'm going to do it. So that's how I got on today's ride. Came in, I stopped in, got several breakfast burritos at Burger King, which they're not good. I don't recommend the breakfast burritos at Burger King. They are not good. There was a couple Mexican restaurants there in Isabella, and they didn't open till 11, and I wasn't gonna wait around till 11 o'clock. But I didn't expect to. I was just under 6 hours total time riding today, so that tells you how much time it took. And then also my water. So I got a 3-liter water pack, plus I did 1 liter extra water, which I ran out of water 10 miles away from the truck, which is not good when you need water. So if I know I'm gonna be riding 6 hours time, like I haven't done the trails, so I didn't know. So I definitely would do the full 3 liters of water, plus I would have packed 3 extra liters. I mean, just as much water as you can, because when you need water, when you're thirsty, you need it. When I did that abandoned trail last year, I mean, I almost died. I was getting dizzy. I couldn't go 50 feet without having to stop and rest for like 5 minutes. It was really, really bad. And I had to drink out of the cow stream, the Cow Creek stream. That's what saved me. Okay, anyways. Oh, so Mill Creek is closed. It's unfortunate that a lot of these trails. I just watched the Cross Trainer Enduro channel, and they're talking about the clubs and how the clubs are trying to fight to keep trail systems open. And I'm not a member of a club, but you know, I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know what a club can do. They all, like, every time you sign up for a race, they have a little extra fee for fighting some regulation or fighting the EPA or whatever it is to keep trail riding or just dirt bike riding open. And I feel like maybe it's time I need to step up and join a club. It's just I like the variety of riding. You know, I'm not a desert guy. I'm not a mountain guy. I'm definitely a hard enduro guy. I love the hard enduro scene. And maybe if I join a club, not only am I going to help contribute to fighting closing down trail systems, but my goal, what I would love, is to get hard enduro racing in my area, just at a local club level. You know, it doesn't need to be the National Hard Enduro Association putting it on. It could be just a local club putting on a hard enduro. I think it would be very beneficial. A lot of the members trail ride, and hard enduro is really just trail riding in the extreme way. Like, it's the ultimate trail ride where you know, people like do desert racing, sprint enduros. It's very fast and flowy, and that is a lot of fun. But this is trail riding. A hard enduro it's this, except all the logs are not cut. And instead of going around an obstacle, hard enduro goes over the obstacle. Or they find a creek, instead of going just beside the creek, it like goes in the creek. It's really not that hard to get a hard enduro trail course going. You know, I think it'd be really easy, and this is just a fantastic area to do it. All right, that's about the end of this video, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a hard one for me today. It just connected up to this cheap road. We got about 3 miles to get to the Pirates Lookout. The lookout tower actually is not there anymore. I didn't see any history or anything on it. But there is a little hidden can there. You can sign your name, put your name in the book. And if you look on the can, I snuck on a little Hardcore Enduro sticker on the can. But it is worth it. You know, you do the hardcore, the trail ride, then you got a little nice, easy Jeep trail to get to that top. You got a great vista. Have your lunch up here, and have a good ride back. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and until next video, get out and ride and get some. Ew.